That's the noise residents in a part of Scarborough have been hearing during the day and in the mornings for more than a year now. Those living around the Transpennine Express train depot on Seymour Road have been complaining daily since January 2020 about noise nuisance. Here's Scarborough Borough Councillor for Weponess and Ramshill, Rich Moore.
It's primarily noise concerns, and it's primarily to do with what time engines are switched on and off on a night time, and again what time they're geared up in the morning, and that's the complaints which I received. There has been some complaints with regards to light and questions and queries with air pollution too. But the primary concern, and it's it's a very, very regular hit on my inbox, is the noise of what time these trains come into that new depot. It's obviously an ongoing issue. SBC is trying to resolve this with TPE. The council's noise nuisance investigation is ongoing, and SBC, they remain in dialogue with company reps at TPE in order to try and reach some improvements for affected residents. Get in touch with me. Don't leave it to others. If you're feeling that you're suffering sleep deprivation and you're wondering how to approach the big companies or what to do, then the Scarborough Borough Council is there to try and help, and we can do that by taking your concerns on board, and we do listen. And there are machines that we can install if you're quite willing to record and monitor noise, and so that we can gauge exactly what times people's sleep has been disrupted. So yeah, get in touch. Happy to take those concerns.
And just how much is it affecting residents living nearby? Here's Sue Rawson.
We're kept awake at night from before 11 until, well, it has been after 1 o'clock at the worst, with the engines running in the depot. And then in the morning, we hear the occasional clank and hiss during the night. And then, of course, they start up in the morning. I feel tired all the time. Getting about, if you're lucky, five and a half hours sleep a night, 6 nights a week, it has an effect on you. The first train they get ready at 10 to 5 in the morning. So at about 4:50, the engine starts up, and it's an incredible noise. It's difficult to actually anticipate how it affects you, because it's not just the sound, it's just not the loudness, it's the vibration and the reverberation from that low frequency noise. It affects the air. And I like to sleep between 11 and going on for 8 o'clock. At the moment, Transpennine are making it impossible for me to sleep during that time. I do not get an uninterrupted night's sleep, and I haven't since before I complained on the 7th of January on 2020. I've been complaining for 14 months now to Transpennine, and I'm very happy with the response I've had from Scarborough Borough Council, who I complained to on that date. I have sent 84 pages of complaint, detailed logs of noise nuisance by Transpennine to Scarborough Borough Council. I also use their noise nuisance app to record the noise and send comments. I added that up last night, and I've actually sent 389 comments and recordings from, I think it was the 14th of April they started using the app. It's interesting that we live 320 metres away from the depot. It's not as though we're right on top of it. The topography of where we live doesn't help Transpennine one little bit, because they've chosen to build a brand new train depot at the bottom of a deep, narrow valley. And we are 25 metres above the depot here in our house. but at 320 metres away. And so the noise from the trains is just broadcast up the valley sides and along the valley. They think that the noise baffles that they've put up in the depot are sufficient. I can see directly into that depot. It's unlikely that I'm going to not hear it. And the madness, as far as I can see, is that they've only put a few low barriers up on the western side of the depot. They've put absolutely nothing on our side, the eastern side. So how are we supposed to not hear the noise? My husband is deaf. He wears 2 hearing aids during the day. And the sad thing is that at night, without hearing aids, he can hear the noise from the trains. Not always, but he's complained to me about them as well, that he can hear it. Now, if my husband, who's nearly 80 and is deaf, can hear the trains from 320 metres away at night and early in the morning, there's, behind double glazing and the windows shut, there's something wrong. And it's about time that TransPennine responded and did something.
Well, in response, Paul Staples, who's the fleet director for TransPennine Express, says they take the concerns of local residents very seriously regarding noise emitted from their train depot and are doing all they can to minimise the inconvenience caused. He adds that over the last 12 months, a huge amount of work has been undertaken to try and find ways of reducing the amount of engine noise, and they would have liked to have reached a solution sooner, but the pandemic has delayed a lot of the investigative work. Finally, he says it's essential to have a train depot in Scarborough, but they're absolutely committed to seeing this through, working closely with Scarborough Borough Council to find an answer that works for everyone.